from Mrs. Willis French of Englewood, New Jersey in 1938. The story is interesting because Mrs. French had no connection with Darlington. She had a son who was a student at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and several of his friends and fraternity brothers were Darlington graduates. So Mrs. French took an interest in the school. She contacted Dr. Wilcox, Darlington's president, and asked if it would be possible for her to donate a house to the school with the stipulation that she be allowed to live in it during the winter months when the snows of New Jersey got to be too much for her. And the only thing she asked in exchange was that she be able to take all of her meals in the dining room. And the school quickly agreed to that. This was actually the first house that was built specifically for the school. Mrs. French would be the one to design the house, and it's a very clever design. One end of the house she stayed in. It's got a bedroom and a bath. The other bedroom and the bath are at the other end of the house, so that it served as the school's guest house as well. As I say, Mrs. French designed the house, and she would apparently arrive here in grand style every fall and spend the winter months. And Betty Ledbetter, who was Dr. Wright's daughter, said that she was always told by her parents to go down and be nice to Lady French, which is what they called her. And she was something of a grande dame on the campus, and then every spring she disappeared back to New Jersey. So let's take a little tour on the house. It's really sort of classic Greek Revival style with the side lights and the fan light, very much like homes you'd see in South Carolina. Mrs. French designed the house with a very large living room, which she referred to as the school parlor. And the room was very large because it was to be used for school receptions and social gatherings. You'll notice there is no separate dining room because this was not to be a home that someone lived in. She also designed a very large den in the back. And she referred to this as the boys' game room. She apparently had a pool table here, and this was where the boys could come, have a fire, play pool or ping pong. So it was to be used by the students almost as a student lounge as well. When I moved into the house 20 years ago, I added the deck, and I took out a wall that had been here and put in all of these French windows. Later I found some pictures of the house when Mrs. French lived here, and it looks very much like she had originally designed it, with windows all across the back. As I say, the house has two bedrooms. This is the room I use as a guest room. A bedroom and bath in this end, which was always the school's guest room. A very large kitchen here, which is used for school functions, school parties. For example, I have several events of the year. We have the Alumni Council over here for a barbecue or cookout in August. We have the senior parents over here the night of the prom for coffee and dessert. And we have the Board of Trustees over following the dinner with the senior class. So the kitchen's very large and spacious, and it's a good catering kitchen when I do have a large party. At the other end of the house is the second bedroom. A second bedroom and bath, and this is where I live. This is the end of the house that Mrs. French stayed in, and this bedroom is a little bit larger than the other. And that completes the tour of the French house, I suppose.